Hey guys, welcome to Honest Reviews. Today we are looking at the newest camera from Fujifilm Instax. This is the Mini Evo, and I have been using Instax cameras for like 14 years. I've been reviewing them, testing them. This one really impresses me, so I'm excited to tell you more about it. Okay, so what we have here with the Mini Evo is a hybrid camera. It is both a digital camera and it prints instant film. So you can see it has the LCD on the back here. And then on the top, this is where the film is coming out. This uses Instax Mini film, which is this size, credit card size. This is the most popular type of film. So what makes this camera really exciting for me is, it's not the first time Fuji has done a hybrid camera. There's a few of them out there. I'll talk about more of that later. But what this one does really, really well are two things. Number one, it has a lot of really fun features. There are lens effects and filter effects that you can play with that actually really look good. And then number two is the design. I love the design of this camera. I feel like it's a really, really great evolution from the other cameras in the line. I'm going to get more into those details as well as pricing and stuff, but I really want to know if this camera is feeling exciting for people. There's so many features. I'm just giving my first impressions today, but I can definitely do a more in-depth video taking you through all the features, all the functions, kind of giving you tips on how to use this if you end up picking it up. So if that's interesting, leave me a comment below. Tell me if that would be fun for you, and I'll look into doing one of those videos. Okay, so let's get started with just some of the features so that you get an idea of this camera and what it can do. Starting off, the retail price is $249.99 Canadian, approximately $199.95 US. It's on the pricier end of a Fujifilm camera, but it is also a digital camera. So that kind of is roughly what you're looking to pay for these when they are both the digital and the instant film hybrids. It has a built-in lithium-ion battery, so you're not always changing the batteries. It comes with this one little cable to charge it. I wish that when you're paying over $200 for a camera, they would give you one of these too, but they do not. So make sure you pick that up if you don't have one handy, because you'll want to be charging this thing right away when you get it out of the box. It also doesn't come with film, so make sure you pick some of that up when you're putting it in your cart. Instax Mini Film comes in a ton of different varieties. This is a new one here, stone gray. You've got like the classic just white border one. This is what I usually use. There is monochrome that you can buy, but if you're getting this camera, I would recommend you don't buy monochrome because it has a black and white effect that you can choose. So the monochrome is better for a camera that is not that digital hybrid. So what they're really trying to do with this camera is combine the abilities of digital technology, like choosing your photo, editing your photo, cropping it, adding things to it, with that fun of instant film, that like excitement, the printing, the ability to share that photo, to have it right away. What I'm finding in my own life, I don't want to be on my computer very much anymore when it comes to photos. I kind of just want to take the photo and have the print. And as soon as I started playing with this camera, it did that so easily. And that's why I'm really, really excited about it. I'm getting prints of like, my kids and me and my dog. And I just take the shot. I print it. If someone blinks, I take another shot and then I'm done, and I don't have to go upload it. I don't have to go send it somewhere and go pick it up or send it to me. It's just so fast to go from photo to print that I actually print more photos, and this camera makes it really fun. So I'm going to keep talking about the features, but that gives you an idea. If that's kind of something that you're looking for in your photography, this camera could be a really good match for you. Few other features just of the camera itself. On-off button in the front here. This actually took me a little while to find because it actually has a lot of buttons, and all of these ones are not labeled. That would be my one critique of the design. I understand that without labels, it looks really sleek and nice. But I'm already being like, which button, what does this button do again? Like I kind of forget what, especially this one right here. So Labels would have been nice, but that's very, very picky. All of the buttons feel really good. This is definitely a premium instant film camera. The design is really nice. They've really put a lot of effort into making it feel good in your hands. This front lens, you can kind of hear it. This rotates, and this is how you change the different lens effects, which I'll get into. But even just doing that feels really nice. There's a nice sound. We have a button on the front here so that you can do a selfie and not have to like reach awkwardly to try to take that selfie. And that's the selfie mirror there as well, which makes it really good to get those selfies so that you know you're in the frame properly, and it works really well. We have this light here. This is going to tell you like when it's charging. And then this is the flash up here. We've got that film slot right there. I even just want to point out how nice these little icons look. I really like the design of this camera. Okay, coming over to the top, we've got a bunch of stuff going on here. This one here, another one of those buttons, this is going to change the film effect. And it's just like, has that really classic camera look and feel. This is an accessory mount. It is not a hot shoe. This is not going to like work for a flash, but if you wanted to put an accessory on there that you use, you know, separately, you can. But I don't really know what you'd be doing with an instant film, like with a mic or something, but it's there if you need it. This is a shutter button here. And then this button here is kind of accessing your different saved combos of lens and film effects. So there are 10 lens effects, 10 film effects, and you can create different combinations of those two to create 100 different possibilities. They really like that in their marketing. But that's cool. There's a lot of creativity possible, and this button is going to help you like access your different combos faster. And then this right here is the print lever. You can see right here, we do have one label that says print. And so you pull this lever, I'm going to show you in a bit, and that's how you print the film, which is just a really nice, delightful design decision. It's really giving you that analog feel of like a film advance. It's a fun part of the camera that just makes it enjoyable to use. And then on the back here, we have like pretty typical stuff. I'm going to turn it this way. Oh, I took a picture. There you go. You got your typical like menu with the little wheel around it, back, reviewing your pictures, and then a plus button for when you're in the menu. There's a lot of stuff in this menu to play with. So again, if you want me to go into depth on all that stuff, I can do that in another video. Just leave me a comment below. But for now, I'm just kind of giving you the overview so you can see if this is something you would be interested in. Then over here, we have a tripod mount, just a threaded one. And then down here, this little guy here is where you plug in your charge cable right there, that USB, micro USB. And then there's also a teeny tiny slot right there for a micro SD card. So you can save the photos you take on this onto a micro SD card and then transfer them. And then the very last thing on the design here, we have here, kind of see it, yeah, right there. And right there, we have strap attachment points. So it comes with this strap, which is pretty nice as far as instant film camera straps go. But that's it. You get the camera, this, and that's everything in the box. Okay, so now I want to explain those like lens modes and the filter modes, because I think that is the thing about this camera that I've been really enjoying playing with and is bringing back a lot of that fun of analog photography. And so what you have are 10 lens modes, and you can spin through them here. They are light leak, double exposure, color shift, soft focus, mirror, vignette, half frame, fisheye, blur, and normal. So if you've been shooting, like if you shot Holgas and stuff, a lot of those things kind of get back into those like film photography days where you would get light leaks or you could do a double exposure. And so it brings that feeling back. And so I've got a few examples here, but then there's ones that are also more modern. So this is mirror. So I just took a picture of this mug and it automatically mirrors the image. And there's just so much creative possibility there. And the fact that you can do it on the screen is really cool because it really shows it. Instead of just guessing, which you would with film. So I'll show you that real quick. So I just spin through the front here until I get to, okay. So I'm on mirror here. You can see if I turn this front dial, it changes the setting. And then this is mirror. And let's see if you can kind of see that. So I can like get some pretty cool effects just by doing that. And that just like opens up a lot of creative, inspiration if that is something that you're kind of missing in your photography. Other of the effects that are fun are like the double exposure does take two different exposures and puts them together. That's one you kind of have to practice with. Light leak kind of does this kind of cool retro-y looking vibe. Another thing that I like about this camera is that you can put the date stamp on. So you can just choose that in the settings and it will put the date stamp on every photo when you print it, which really gives that nice nostalgic feeling to them. And then for the film effects, that stuff like you've got black and white that you can put on top of it. You can do sepia, you can do different colors like a blue filter over top. There's sort of a retro looking one. So there's a lot of possibilities there to play and experiment and kind of just like have a lot of fun. And then when you find a combo that you like, you can just print it out really easily or save it to your own favorites. As this is a digital camera and Fujifilm is doing this with a lot of them, there's an app as well. It is the Mini Evo app. Pretty simple little app here, but you can print from your phone to the camera. You can use this as a remote shooting with the camera. So you connect through Bluetooth and then your phone will actually show you what the camera sees. And then you can press the shutter on your phone. So if you want to take like a selfie from far away, set up the camera, go stand there, use your phone as the remote, and then you can also print it right from your phone. So that is very cool, very handy if you want a camera that can take selfies while you're like further into the frame. You can get a photo. Once you've printed it on this, it will like transfer that printed file to your phone with like a Instax frame around it. So that's basically what the app does. It's not super complex, but it has a few cool features in it. One thing that's new is that there are two different print modes. There is now Instax Natural, which is going to give you that usual Instax look. If you've been shooting with Instax film a lot, that's just like typical colors. But now there's also Instax Rich, where it kind of boosts all the colors in the photo and just gives you like a richer look, more vibrant colors. My camera seemed to be on that by default, and I like the way it's looking, but you can choose which one of those you want in the settings. One thing about this camera that right off the bat you can see is that like it's got this really nice lens on the front. It's producing pretty sharp images. Like, I mean, Instax film has limitations in terms of sharpness, but these are all, even when the flash is going off, the flash is looking really nice. It's giving like, it's flash, but not too much flash. You can turn it off if you want. You can put it on auto. You can do forced flash. Well, it will always flash. So I'm really liking the image quality that we're getting out of this. But it does not come with any like lens cover for the camera itself. You can buy a soft case for it, but a little lens cover, I mean, would have been nice. Some of the other cameras actually like automatically closed so that the lens would be protected, whereas this one does not have that feature. So you do want to figure out how you're going to be safe with it so you don't scratch the lens up, which will decrease the quality of your images. So the camera has a 3-inch LCD on the back. The quality isn't great. I definitely noticed that the photo when I'm taking it doesn't look really super sharp. but then when it shows me the result, that looks sharp. So that is one thing to note, that if you're looking through the screen and you don't love the way it's looking, like it just doesn't look sharp enough, try taking the photo and seeing the result, because I've been impressed once I've taken the photo, but the like live view isn't quite as high quality. Otherwise, you know, the screen for an instant film camera, it does the job. So I am going to take a little test shot just to give you a demo here and show you that really fun camera coming out. So I'm gonna see what lens one I want to use here. Let's say I like the color shift, and I'm going to take that shot. There's also like a lag on the LCD, so you kind of have to make sure you're being pretty steady, but that's just good practice. Half pressing the shutter down to focus. It also has face detect, which is nice. And then full press to take the shot. Press the play button to view it. There's the studio, and then we do that, and it does take a while. It's not instant in terms of printing the photo, so you kind of have to wait, but then I love this part. I think that's so cool. And then 90 seconds. You don't need to shake it. Just put it down and let it develop. So really quickly, I'm just going to kind of compare this camera to a few of the others in the Instax line, so you kind of have a sense of where it sits, and then we'll wrap things up. So the Instax line, like the newest base model is this guy. This is the Mini 11, currently retailing around $60 US. So definitely a lot cheaper for this. It is very base level. I mean, it is not a hybrid camera. It is just point and shoot, which if you just want to try it out, or you're getting a gift for someone, or you're giving it to your kid, these are such a great place to start just to get into film shooting, like instant film shooting. Instant film is not cheap. So in that sense, you are going to have more misses with these cameras, more wasted film, more blinks. So, I mean, if you think you're going to be shooting a lot of film over time, that's where a camera like this, where you can make sure you choose the one you want to print, does save you in film costs. And because film is expensive, that's not that's a significant detail. But, you know, you don't get that sort of surprise of how did it turn out as you wait for it to develop. So that's one detail. And this is cheaper. Then there is the Mini Replay. So this was the previous hybrid camera. And for a lot of people, this design is going to be more their thing. So that's awesome. It's similar in that it, you know, takes the shot. You can print from it. It doesn't have those like different lens effects that you can put on there. There might be some filters. I can't quite remember. I think so. But this is currently around $160 US. So this guy is, you're really only looking at about $40 more. And you have, you know, those newer capabilities, the lens effects. And I just find the design of this, not just from the aesthetic perspective, but also from like the way it feels to use it. Like this feels like a camera. This feels not quite like a camera to me. And given that I really like cameras, that for me makes this one the better choice. And then just as a design note, I think this is the Fujifilm Mini 90 Neo Classic. This is not a hybrid, just instant. Like you have an LCD just to show you what mode you're in. But otherwise, this is just take the picture and whatever you take comes out. This one is $120 US. So, you know, still a considerable price. And then $80 more, you're getting that digital capability. But just to show sort of that design evolution that is happening with the Instax line that I think is so great. They've really refined it. It's got that classic look, but like with a modern cleanliness. So I just really like the design of this camera and I just want to talk about it. But it's fun to see how things have changed with Instax over the years. All right, so let's wrap this up. Who is this camera good for? I think for anyone who's kind of feeling like they're taking photos but just not getting them printed, or because it's so easy to take photos these days, you can take hundreds a day on your phone. A lot of that magic is lost. If you're feeling like you're not getting that magic in your life with your photography, try this camera out. It is not super expensive, but just the amount of joy it has given me in a few days of playing with it and the amount of photos that I've printed of my family, instantly I'm like, that's great. That is valuable for them to make it so fun and so easy to get those photos off of your digital devices into your life, into your hands, onto your fridge, give them to your friends. That's so valuable. That's why I love instant film. And I think with this camera, they are really, really nailing it in making it fun and easy to use. And so I'm excited about it. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of this camera. Do you think you're going to pick one up? I have tons of instant cameras, but I can definitely see this being the one that I start using on a regular basis, taking with me when I go out, taking with me when I travel. So I'm excited to dig in more with it. All right, thank you so much for watching this. We have lots of other Instax videos. We might do more on this camera. Remember to leave me a comment if you're interested in that. And if you want to watch more, subscribe, give me a thumbs up if this was helpful for you, and have an awesome day. We'll see you next time.